Hi, Melissa here with a layout today for design team reveal over at Let's Get Sketchy. That is the sketch that we're working with, and it's by Bev Code, who is also on the design team. And I wanted to pull all the elements in the sketch, show them quite far apart, but I didn't want a really huge circle, so I used my Creative Memories circle cutter. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that this is the cutter tool that I had for probably about 4 years. My mother-in-law gave it to me and I never used it. So because I don't have a Cameo yet, it definitely comes in handy. And I cut a couple of circles out, and the first one I cut was too small, so I cut another one. And what I did then was I just marked the edge of it, and I've come in with the packaging technique and my watercolours, and I want to have similar colours to the colour that is on that piece of crepe paper pull side there. And I'm scrapping two photos which are very similar. It's just a couple of different expressions on kids in them. And it was taken on Boxing Day, and Sean, my husband's brother, and his wife came up, and I've got two girls, and our kids get on really well with them. And this is just a photo of my oldest two and their youngest, who is, I think, 8 months older than my oldest, and they're just enjoying their Boxing Day lunch. And so it was almost like a second Christmas, because they had their Christmas Day with my sister-in-law's family down south, and then they came up Boxing Day, and it was just awesome. It was a beautiful day because obviously it's summer. We have summer Christmas, and we always have barbecues and lots of food and just hanging out with family. So I've hand cut my banners, and I didn't measure them. I cut the first one, and then I just lined up all the papers with the first one that I cut, and just cut them like a template. And I'm using my July hip kit. I'm getting through it pretty quickly now, and any day I should be finished, so look out for a layout share for that. Now I'm just putting some double-sided tape down and sticking down that top layer, and I'm just quickly, I'm not going to show you all the sewing, but all I did was sew around the perimeter and then sew around the circle, and I'm finally able to sew around circles without any mishaps. And I think the key is to go slow. Slow and steady wins the race, just like the hare and the tortoise. So there I've got that all sewn down, and now I'm wanting to place my photos, and I'm wanting them to be slightly staggered. I've finally been able to use up that this pink paisley frame, from the chipboard frame sticker from last month's kit, which is great. I've got a couple more to use up. And now I'm just going through the Simple Stories cut aparts, seeing if there's anything there that's going to work. And hindsight is a great thing, and I actually wish that I had kept that one there, because I love how that looks. But it doesn't make it on, and I'm just going to have to make a real conscious effort to use it on another layout. Now I've got these LA Studio die cuts, and I can't remember the name of the collection, but those die cuts and also the wood veneers it's a food collection, and I'll be honest, I'm really struggling to use them. I do have a few photos of food, and when I do my layout share, you'll see that I've got a couple of Brielle eating, but there's just icons like pizza, and just a few other things that I'm really struggling with, and even some of the words on the die cuts I'm struggling with as well. So I'm going to have to do my best. Might have to make a few layouts happen by printing off some extra photos. I think I shared earlier that this time with this kit I went through and pulled my photos at the beginning so that there was no rifling through. I knew exactly what I wanted to get scrapped, because it is a summer themed kit, and June's kit was also summer themed, so I wanted to make sure I got the majority of our 2014-2015 summer, which is the beginning of the year, get those photos scrapped. So now I'm just placing my photos, and I'm using a combination of double-sided tape and Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and that's just because of that chipboard frame, which is quite chunky. And my husband is standing in that photo on his iPhone, and so I wanted to cover that up because it's a little bit distracting. So you'll see he's in both photos, and you'll see how I cover that up, or him up, I should say. So I'm covering him there. Yeah, totally. Can only see a little bit of his head. Or am I covering him? Anyway, I do cover him, I think. I don't have the layout in front of me. I'm quite particular about how I want my photos. I didn't want them linear as the sketch showed them. So there I'm just adding a little bit of extra tape to hold it down. And I thought that little knife, fork and spoon what is that, diamond was perfect. Okay, yeah, that's how I cover them up with a little journaling tab. And then I'm gluing down that wood veneer that says we ate here, because we did. And then I'm just working through and trying to work out, as always, what's going to work where. And that wood veneer says, I think it says lunch, or no, dinner, of course, because it's dinner. I'm pretty excited at the moment because it's lighter in the evenings now, and it means that we're coming out of winter and into spring, and I can't wait for spring. I love spring. It's probably my favourite season of the year. It's our wedding anniversary, and I love the flowers, and I just love that the kids come home from school and they can go and play outside instead of causing trouble in the house and making more mess for me to clean up. So, and of course, Brielle loves going outside as well, and they kind of look after her out there. I can see her from inside. And they get on the swing and slide and have a blast. So yeah, I think winter for me, I love winter as well. I love it when I have a season's pass up the mountain, but the last couple of years, because Brielle was a newborn and now a 1-year-old, we didn't get ski passes this year. The kids get to ski with school, and because my husband is a teacher, he gets to go up there as well. But this time, for me, it's kind of not happening this year, but next year I'm looking forward to it. So a little bit about what it's like living here. I knew I wanted to use this chipboard title from last month's kit, and it's from Crepe Paper Poolside, so it is perfect, and it is going to work in with the colours in this kit. So it's just a case of deciding where to put it. And now I'm coming in and gluing down these banners, and well, not gluing them yet, positioning them. And they're really a representation of my favourite colours and patterns of paper in the kit. And I didn't want them to look too perfect as well. I certainly didn't want them in a straight line, so just playing around with the positioning. But I do want them to look like they flow, as if they're joined together. And the first one I glued down with some Tombow, but then you'll see with the next one, I just use double-sided tape, and that's a lot easier. So now I'm coming in with chipboard, and I've used up quite a lot of it, and I'm just going to add that drink. I guess you'd call it soda, we'd call it fizzy. And it has nothing to do with it, but it looks good there. And this is the extra. Originally I cut a smaller circle and then I cut another one, so this is just a piece that was left over, and I thought it would look really good just as a second sort of circular feature above the photos and clusters. So I'm just tucking that in there and gluing it down. And I've cut out quite a lot because I really did play around and try to get it in the right position. And these washi tape strips are from Dear Lizzie, and they were in last month's kit as well, so I was keen to see if I could use up some of them as well. And the sketch had, it was like an arm that reached across from the left, and so that's what I'm adding in there, just with a couple of pieces of washi. And I love this ampersand, and I thought about having it as an anchor on the side there. And you'll see soon that I'll try positioning it in a couple of other positions. But in the end, I actually want it to form part of a title because it is such a gorgeous feature, and I don't want it just to sit randomly on its own. Sometimes I will put embellishments in a random kind of positioning, and I don't mind that they sit on their own with no relevance, but in this instance, I don't want to waste it, I want to use it, so it'll feature in another layout soon. So that's the positions that I want them, and normally I'd have to glue them down, but I think because they're on the washi, they're sticking quite well. And so you'll see I tried to pick up the word tasty, but it was stuck quite firm. So I have glued down the word treats. And I'm still thinking about leaving the ampersand there at this stage. So then I decided to go for the ice cream cone. I think I've shared before that my children can't eat ice cream at this point in their lives. They have all had elements of a dairy allergy. The worst one was our oldest son because it was undiagnosed. So when he was 1, he weighed what he did at about 7 or 9 months. So he'd lost so much weight that he wasn't even on the chart, like the graph for growth. So he ended up in hospital and they diagnosed him as having an allergy to the protein in dairy or an intolerance. But he's gotten better and a lot better actually. So what I'm trying to say is they can have dairy-free ice cream. Our local shop near where we live in a little village makes coconut ice cream, which is delicious, and he loves it. So all that to say that I'm putting the ice cream on there. It's got no relevance to the layout, but I like it as the anchor instead of the ampersand. So there I'm adding my journaling. I'm using a fatter American, it's a Project Life pen actually, fatter nib for that one. And now I'm adding my date stamp, and I've been making a real effort lately to add the date to all my layouts because there's nothing worse than going through a pile. I think I must have about 150 layouts that I need to put in albums at the moment, and some of them don't have a date, so I have to go back through my photos. So I've got the final layout coming up soon. I'm just adding some colour shine, and it's the final touch. I like the way it looks. It's a bit different for me, this one. It's a bit of an artsy one, and probably minimal layering, but there's some close-ups. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully be back soon.